Yes, please.
Good afternoon, one and only. Myself, Professor Umang Panchal. Greeting from the Department of Computer Engineering, Thaler University. I'm welcoming all of you in our today's webinar. So, speaker of our today's webinar is Dr. Shonal Sharma, and topic of our today webinar is a cloud security. I'll just give you the little introduction about the ma'am. The ma'am is associate professor and HOD in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Jain University, Bangalore. So, welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, shall I share the screen, sir?
Yes, ma'am. You can share your screen.
Yeah, I hope screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am. It's visible to all.
Yeah. So, first of all, a very warm good afternoon to all of you. So, this is Dr. Suraj Sharma from Jain University, and basically, I am working right now. Since last 3 years, I am working on the cloud technologies and their security. So, today our topic is cloud security. And as a speaker, first of all, I thanks to the Parul University team and some of the faculty who are professor there for giving me this chance to be share my thoughts on this open platform about the cloud security. Okay, so basically this cloud security, we all know what is cloud first, because when I asked from the sir that who are the students, who are the listeners, so basically most of the listeners right now are from the third semester and fifth semester students, and maybe you are completely graduated also. But see, when we are talking about the cloud, so in the simplest way, in the very simplest way, what is cloud? So cloud is nothing but a shape in the sky. And see, suppose I am in the two region, means two regions, the one region and region two, the both persons who are available in the these two different regions, but they can see the same cloud. Okay, that is the general cloud. What is cloud? Cloud means a data. Cloud means, if we are talking about the technical definition of the cloud, so cloud is nothing but a collection of the data where each and everyone, like you, like me, and everyone, so many business persons, organizations, everyone can share their data freely on the cloud and freely on the cloud. So basically, today our topic is cloud security. So again, the cloud security is the combination of two words, that is the cloud and the security. That is the cloud and the security. So first we will complete, means today's lecture, we will complete, or today's session, we will complete in two modules. The first module is what is cloud, and second module is what is security. Okay, so before starting, or before so that other students who wants to still join are joining. So before starting this, I just want to share one video with you all. This is very interesting for understanding the cloud, which means how they are working the cloud and all these things. So just a wait for a second. It is only 2-minute video, and definitely you will enjoy this. To understand basically what is cloud. Wait for a second. Wait. I'm just going to start to share the screen. Sir, is it visible and audible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. And no, it's not audible. The video is not audible.
Okay, wait. You have to make setting in the Google. So you have to permit me for so you have to be on from your side, maybe. Yeah. So on the basis of that video, what we learn to know that whenever we want to put our all the data, whenever we want to save our data, whenever we want to keep our data in a safe way, where or in the form where means where we want to use, whenever we want to use, and without any tool, and without any machine, without any laptop, any system. So how this things can be turned over in the system? That is with the help of the cloud. Now, because all the persons have keep their data in the cloud, so the security is very important. Now, this is the table of content which we will cover during this session, which includes the vision and the mission of the cloud computing, some introduction of the cloud computing and virtualization, how cloud delivery models are working, how the cloud compute means what are the architecture, what is the cloud security, what is the architecture of the cloud security, and how it is important and why we need it. That is the very important. So basically, learning objective. Learning objective means why we need to learn the cloud. Why we need to learn the cloud, why we want to save our data on the cloud, why cloud is very important in these days. Leave all the things. Right now, me in the Bangalore, you in the Delhi, how we are connected? It's a platform. And this platform is nothing but a working on cloud. Okay, leave it also. During the corona, last since 2 years, when you were able to read all the notes, all the books, which can be shared by your professors, by your teachers, by your lecturers, how it is possible? Again, cloud. Again, again cloud. It means we have to learn cloud because in the time where we are working, or in the time where we are staying, where we are living, the cloud is very necessary. Okay, so in this session, you will explore common cloud computing services, explore the benefits of the cloud computing, and decide which cloud deployment model is best for you when we are talking about the security. So this is the vision of the cloud. Okay, why vision of the means why we are again why we are considering the vision and the mission of of anything. So basically, when we are talking about the vision of the cloud computing, so see, I have to concern the money also. I have to concern the flexibility also. I have to concern the scalability also. I have to concern the easy of the mode. Means, suppose right now we all have our Gmail account. We all have our Gmail account, and sometimes we are saving our documents on the Google Drive. Some are photo pictures, some are some videos, some files. Everything is on the Google Drive. Why? To use that Google Drive, you need only your laptop or some username or password. The answer is password and username. Why? Because they all are on the cloud. And this is the very beautiful feature of the cloud. Why? Because it is not for necessary for all of us to keep every time one hard disk, one pen drive, one CD drive, one our laptop, to carry all the time our laptop from one place to another place when we are moving. No. Why? Because all the data is on the Google Drive, and the Google Drive is nothing but a feature of the cloud. Okay, if you remember, or if you analyzing something, so Google Gmail is providing us previously 2 GB free data on the cloud. Now it is 4 GB. Why? Because due to this corona, and due to the need, or due to the usefulness of the users, so the Google has to increase the data so that you will be able to store all your books, all your notes, all your data, all your pictures on the Google Drive safely. Okay, so this is the vision of the cloud computing, where we don't have the platform to develop an application. Yeah, maybe sometimes. In the present time, what's happened? Python, it is available open source. Java, yeah, it is available on the open source. But when we were the student, we have to download the Java's latest version for doing the Java's programming. We have to download the C or C++ version. But they all are not, right now, they all are on the cloud. They all are on the open platform, so that it is not required to download all the things in your system. You can easily complete your programming online mode also. So this is I have a lot of infrastructure that I want to rent. Okay. Similarly, if we can say if I don't want to invest anything for the infrastructure, means I don't want to buy some hard disk, I don't want to buy my own server. I don't want. What I'm doing, I will just take the some partial part of your hard disk and give amount to you. That is the rent. That is the rent. Means I have the platform and I want to issue it on rent, and I can't purchase the software. But is there any option so that I can use them on temporary basis? That is the vision of the cloud computing. To complete this vision, we have some missions also. What missions? Yes, it is available 24/7. It is pay as you use. Means it is not required that, suppose the cost of the cloud is 100 rupees, suppose, but you are using only 5 rupees cloud, so you have to pay only 5 rupees. Remaining 95 is with you only. Okay, it is reliable, it is scalable, and it is flexible. Means because it is flexible, so sustainability is automatically increase the efficiency of the cloud. Secure storage management. Okay, what is secure storage management? Where we keep our data tension freely. Okay, we don't want to look into the security matters, how means what the data it is secure or and all that things. And it is a very common platform where we can share our experiences, also experience in this on the basis of the, suppose I am a good programmer and you are a good suppose you are a good writer in the material writer, in the article writer. So what we are doing, or what will happen, I will share my code on the cloud. You will use that and you will share your the return part. I am using that. How it is possible? Just because of the cloud. Just because of the cloud. So basically, cloud is it is a device-free data storage where we can use the data 24/7 basis. It is highly automated. It is highly automated, and it is the location free, location independent data. It is the device independent data, and it needs only a username and password. Okay, so now what is cloud computing and virtualization? Why I am writing here virtualization? Because cloud computing is completely a technique, and virtualization is nothing but using the virtual machines. That virtual machines are behaving like the owners or the user's own machine. So if you're taking the first cloud computing, so basically cloud computing is the delivery of on-demand computing services from application to storage and processing power, typically over the internet and on a pay-as-you-go basis. Okay, so here in the diagram, you can see that the cloud computing is used for the servers, means it has all the things which is required for storing or for storage of our data. First is server. What is server? And through which multiple clients are connected. Is it possible for me, a single user, that I will connect the worldwide users? I think no. I think no. So to do that, we need a platform, a common platform where the globally users are available for the same kind of things. That globally platform is what? Cloud. What's the point? Next is a virtual desktop. We are using Gmail. We are using Google Drive. And what we are saying? It's mine. Did you think it's yours? According to me, no. Why? Because some service provider, the Google provider. Who the Google provider is? Obviously, the service provider. So the service provider have a complete, control of your Google Drive in his hands. Similarly, WhatsApp. Today, we all are doing, we can say we can spend our 4 to 5 hours on Google, on WhatsApp, on Insta, on Facebook. Are they yours? Again, I think no, because all your data is stored in cloud. But the screen, what you are saying for your mobile, for your system, it is yours. This is called the virtualization, virtual machine. They are behaving like that, okay, you are the main owner of the system, what you are using. But no, the providers are in the back end who can control all the data. That is the virtual desktop. Software platform. So many softwares are freely available on the cloud, which we are using. Like, for example, I'm just giving for Python. It is in the very demand right now. It is available there. So many notes, online classes, everything means, suppose if I want to be a master in Python, I really need not any tutor individually. Everything is available on the YouTube. Everything is available on the NPTEL lectures. What they are? Again, they are the software platform on the cloud, then application and storage data. Okay. Again, all these things can be connected through the internet with the help of some routers or switches, and all these things are using in the mobile, laptop, printers, or everything means yes, we are connected. Okay. Suppose if you are taking the example of your own college or your own lab. Okay, one server system is there, which can be responsible for the remaining systems control, Means either the system number 3 is the faculty system or the student system. Is the pen drive is uh, on in that or not, like that. Internet is on in that or not. Facebook, it means are you using the Facebook during the college hours in your college systems, or WhatsApp, like that. Again, these are the systems. Similarly, one common printer which is connected with the so many systems. The data can be come from many places, but the connection must be required right now, right? Similarly, the cloud computing is there. So basically, the cloud provider includes the compute power, storage, networking, and analytics. Now, definition of virtualization. So virtualization refers to the virtualization of a computer into multiple logical computers through virtualization technology. Okay, if you can see here in this diagram, so you can see that this is the main storage system. This is the main storage system, and these are the virtual servers, virtualization servers. These virtual machines, these have the individual virtual machines, and these virtual machines are nothing but the user's virtual machines, which can give a face to the user that okay, it's your system, it's not it's completely controlled by you, it's not under the control by the service provider. So this is the virtualization in which everything can be in the virtualization form. Okay, so this is the architecture of the cloud computing and virtualization. So cloud computing and virtualization, you can see here, as I told you, that cloud computing is what? Cloud computing is a technique, and virtualization is what? It is a system. It is a system. So what cloud computing is? See here. If we are a client, you, me, anyone, we are. So if we are a client, so our infrastructure can be passed on the internet. Now, what happened in the back end? This is the front end, which can be seen by you and me only, right? Now, what happened internally? What happened background? So here, some applications are there, some services are there, some cloud runtime is there, storage is there, and infrastructure is there. Now, if you remember your TCP/IP model, or if you remember your OSI model, so every architecture, every system is basically depends on some layered architecture. Similarly, this cloud computing is also a layered architecture, and this layered internally. Okay, again, this application, this is a working like an application layer, and this application layer is directly communicated with the user, okay, or the client infrastructure. Now, internally, they can provide the services. Internally, they can provide the cloud systems, some storage to the users, and infrastructure. What infrastructure use? So, on these five lines, we can say that our cloud system can be divided in the three parts. That is the infrastructure as a service, first part. Second is platform as a service, second part, and software as a service. Software as a service. Now, instead of these three things, the management, who is doing the management? Provider. Okay, and similarly the security on all these three levels, or the deployment of the cloud. Okay, so this is the basic architecture of the cloud computing. Virtualization. Now, what virtualization? See, it is the hardware part, and it is the hypervisor. We are using the operating system, the main operating system. We can say that it is the host operating system. It is the host operating system, and this host operating system is working on behalf of the hypervisor in the virtualization. Now, this hypervisor can provide the services to the virtual machines. This virtual machine have their own operating systems. Every virtual machine or every machine have their own operating system, and again these operating systems are working on behalf of the application. Why application? Because any input can be come directly in the application layer or in the application format. then the remaining layers or the remaining systems can be working on behalf of the request from the user side. That is the virtualization. So now, as we have one word, that is the security. Now, what is security? Can any one of you reply me on the chat box? What is security? Why we need it? What is the requirement of the security when we are already in a safe cloud, where so many users are there? Why? The question arises why. So see, the question is, what is cloud security? Again, the cloud security is nothing but a collection of the procedures, and we can say a collection of the technology. What type of technology it is? Which can be designed to address the external and internal threats to the business security. Now, why we are considering the business security? Because see, most of the organizations in the present time, in the present era, are working or are using the cloud, are working or and work under the cloud. Maybe my organization, maybe yours organization. Again, they are working on the cloud. Again, they are working on the cloud. So suppose if we are working on the cloud, or if all the data from each university, from each organization, from each businessman are shared on the Google Cloud, obviously we need a security. Why? So that the third person or any type of malware attacks cannot be performed on that particular applications or on that particular applications or on the functions. That's why we need a cloud security. Now, as you can see here in the diagram, what is the cloud computing security? So basically this security is used when we are delivering some data to the users or when we are accepting the data from the users. Okay, so because maybe suppose I am a malware, I want to destroy your data on the cloud. Maybe to stop that type of things in the system, in the cloud, we need a security. We need a security. So here, this is the security categories. These categories includes the security issues faced by the cloud providers and by the cloud customers. So this is the category, and on basis of this, we are using the security risk. Okay, security risk on basis of the security domains, and these domains or these dimensions can again be connected with the security threats. Again, this cloud computing security is basically security in service delivery models, which includes the IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. See, whenever we are talking about the cloud, we have to be consider the three applications. Okay, that is first the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Basically, this cloud or the complete working of the cloud can be decided or can be working on these services also or only. Okay, so when we are talking about the security, obviously we have to be considered these three security services also. These three security services also. So now, why security on cloud is needed? So basically, this cloud security ensures our data and applications are readily available to authorize the users. Now, if you can see here in the diagram, so many things are there I can mention. The first is DOS attack. What is DOS attack? That is the denial of services. Data loss, maybe it is data breaches, changes in the data. Okay, or we can send the data, transform the data in a illegal way or in a wrong way. That is the data breaches. Lack of research, insufficient access management, insider threats, hijacking. Sometimes even if I'm give you the real world example or real life examples in the current scenario. So last month, my Facebook was also hijacked by someone. And means suppose X persons are there in my friend list. So the X persons or X users, X friends are getting the same message that Sam, you are in this picture or whatever. And when they are clicking on that, their systems are also hijacked. This type of working, or to stop this type of crimes openly, which can be openly there in the market, we have to use some strong security aspects. Okay, generally whenever we are talking about the security aspect, so we have an or two three, like whenever we can send the data, so the data must be encrypted and like that. So this misconfigured cloud storage, or we can say the shared technology weaknesses. So all these things we have to be stopped, because see, if we are talking about the DOS attacks, this is the denial of services. Denial of services means suppose some important message from my end must be delivered to you, but somebody in between can hijack the data, and instead of sending the message at X time or at T time, it can be sent at T plus 1 time. Obviously, whenever we are talking about the real world or real time applications, if they are not working on the time due to some this type of attacks, it can be a problem for both the ends, the source person and the destination person, right? So to stop all these things, we have to be use the security in the cloud also. Okay, so this is the cloud security architecture, in which basically this security architecture model is usually expressed in terms of the security controls, trust boundaries, standard interfaces, security protocols, encryption methods, and security event logging. Now, again, what I am saying to you is, again, we have to consider the three services of the cloud. Okay, the first is infrastructure, the second is our platform, and the third is our application or a software or a software. So see here, this is the first security and monitoring, that is the user security and monitoring system, which can be identifies the two things: identify the services and support the services. Right. The information security is basically considered for the data. What type of data? Whatever the data transit from one end to another end. Okay, so it can be transit transit from one data to another data, or we can say that we are doing the encryption whenever we can send the data, or encryption means we can change the data with some formal things so that the user can only understand means the sender and the receiver. Similarly, information security using some key management, ACL, and logging. Now, application level security. So these are using the application stack service connectors, databases, and storage. And this is the platform and infrastructure security, which includes all the data. Now, see, if you remember or if you know the basic network layer. So basically, these are working on the network layer. So all the data means network layer and transport layer and the lower layer of this. So these things can be working on behalf of the network layer and the transport layer. What is the working of the transport layer and network layer? I hope you all know. Okay, so if you are talking about the security control, if you are talking about the trust boundaries, so yes, see, suppose I am having my own username and password, but I am sharing it with you, maybe, or one of my friends. But the friend wants to, or my friend can share with his friend or her friend, like that. So what happened? What happened? My data or my username and password is disclosed. Now, because it is disclosed, so it is possibility. It is a possibility that somebody can hijack my system. To stop that type of system, we have to use some systems, security systems. Okay, so these security systems are under the these things. So if we are taking the example of security types. So what type of securities we are using? Basically, these are the IES securities or AES securities. Okay, or AES security. These are the encryption system methods which can be used for the security system. So same type of security we are using in the cloud security also. Okay. Now this is the means infrastructure as a service cloud computing security architecture, which can be used or which is basically working under the infrastructure. Now see infrastructure. Okay, infrastructure. So before telling this, I am just sharing this diagram. Now you can see here, this is the basic diagram of the cloud computing three services. This is the IaaS, that is the infrastructure. This is the PaaS, that is the platform, and this is the SaaS. Okay, this SaaS software, this is the end users. This is the end users. These are the applications, developer, and remaining is here in the infrastructure and the network architecture. So now see, because it is directly communicated with the machine internal part, which IaaS, that is the infrastructure. That is the infrastructure. That's why we are using this type of additional security features in the IaaS cloud computing system. Which type of? The first is the network segmentation. Network segmentation means it is the combination of the network security and the transport level, transport layer. Okay, transport layer and network layer. It is the combination of these two layers. Okay, because segmentations are there in the. Now see, sometimes when I asked from the students that what is segmentation, what is network segmentation, so can any one of you tell me with the on the chat box what's the network segmentation is? What is segmentation basically? Any one of you? See, when we are taking the example of suppose I am taking the example of TCP/IP model. This is just for the understanding, just for clearation of the data. So this is the application layer, this is the transport layer, and this is the network layer. This is the network layer. Now what happened? Actually, this application layer is directly communicated with the user. Okay. Now this user can send the streams of the data. These streams can directly be sent to the transport layer. Now, what is the working of the transport layer? Transport layer can just divide that stream into the segmentations. Okay. And these segmentations can be passed to the network layer. Then network layer divided into the packets. Right. Now, here on the infrastructure part, the network segmentation is there. Means to divide the data, to divide the network into the segmentations so that we can finalize or we can, we can subdivide the data in their actual part or on the basis of the user's requirement. On the basis of the user's requirement. Then second is the intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. What is intrusion detection system? Means suppose anything, any malware attack, any threat, anything is there in the in any packet or in any segment. So yes, we have to be identify that and will remove it by doing some data or by doing some systems in the cloud also. Okay, in the cloud also. So see, as I told you again and again, intrusion detection system or the intrusion prevention system. So basically, again, if we are talking about the principles, what principles we are using for the cloud computing security. So maybe see, some domains are there. If we are talking about the present time, because before 2 years, the domains were only 13 for the cloud security. But if we are talking about the present time, today's time, so the domains are 16. Now, why 3 are increases? Because since last 2 years, everything is on the cloud. So because Everything is on the cloud, like sharing of data, books, notes, classes, talkings, general talks, meetings, everything is on the cloud. So on the basis of that, yes, we have to increase some domains of the security level in the cloud also. Okay. If we are talking about the principles, so mainly there are we are using the 14 principles in the cloud computing security or cloud security. What these principles are means, suppose whenever we are transit the data, so we have to be keep one security level on that transit principle, if we are talking about some reliability. So what type of reliability it is? Is it the same as the service provider promising to the user? Now, service provider, whose role is there? Whose role is there in the providing the promises to the users? Service provider. Now, who the service provider is? What is the main work of the service provider is? So, service providers are nothing but the person who can directly communicate with the user, understand their requirement, and on the basis of their need, they can provide the type of the cloud to the user. Okay, suppose basically if we are talking about the cloud, so basically there are three types of cloud. The first is the public cloud, the second is the private cloud, and third is the hybrid cloud. Right now, when we are working on the Gmail, or when we are submitting our data on the submitting or putting our data on the Google Drive, so public maybe it is public. But when your university having one ID to you, have provide one ID to you, suppose x@paruluniversity.ac.in. What that paruluniversity.ac.in is? Private key. Similarly, with the help of that Parul University, or on the name of on behalf of that name, the Parul University, Zoom provider or Zoom provider, Zoom is again what? The cloud. Okay, it is working on the cloud, but it is up to the maximum limit. Because why? Because your university and Zoom have some interaction. Okay, again it is the private cloud. Okay. And what is hybrid cloud? The mixing of the public and the private cloud. The mixing of the public and the private cloud. So on the basis of these reliabilities and which type of data it is, all the things, so we can decide the systems of the security. Okay, then third one is virtual firewalls placed in front of the web applications to protect against malicious code, and at the edge of the cloud network. So in this, why we need this virtual firewall, or we can say why we are just protecting our data from the applications which is whatever run in the virtual firewall. Can anyone tell me on the chat box? To see, basically by doing this, we are just segregate the users, or we can say we are just make the separation of the users. Separation of the users means what the malicious or what we can say what type of users requirement is. And on behalf of that, can we provide the security level also? Suppose I am a good coder, as I told you in the previous slide. Suppose I am a good coder. Okay, I am sharing my, suppose PhD thesis coding on the cloud. Suppose now you are using directly it, but up to the one limit. Means when up to the things which I can be, allowed you to share, allowed you to use. That is the thing. But if you are using all these things can be in a complete way or in a wrong way, at the time what's going on, the virtual firewall is getting activated, and this virtual firewall is basically stop you to do all the wrong things on the cloud. That is the virtual firewall space. Okay, and the virtual routers. Why virtual routers? So that whenever you are talking about the this infrastructure, whenever you are talking about the infrastructure, so obviously the data can be sent from one end to another end with the help of the routers. So virtual routers which can be used to check the security in the routes which can be provided by the system to the users to reach their data. What type of security it is? It is type the spoofing is there. If we are talking about the email, so email surfing is there. So many securities are there. So many securities which can be work only for particular routers, for particular protocols, for particular layers and all the things. Same types of security we are using under the cloud also. Now next is the cloud computing security architecture for platform as a service. So this platform as a service cloud deployment require the following additional security features. This is the logging and the altering, IP whitelist and or blacklist, and API gateways in case of the service is accessed by the API. So basically these three things can be used for the operational security. These three things is used for the operational security. And what operational security basically they are using? Basically whatever the service needs to the means needs by the user or can be managed by the person. So this operational securities can be worked in the expensive procedures. So these expensive processes and these expensive procedures we have to follow for our security level, because we don't want to disclose the data in a open platform. And to achieve a high security level in the system, we need some type of gateways, we need some type of IP securities in the systems which can be worked for the things. Okay, now instead of this operational security, maybe we need the personal security also. Maybe we need the personal security also. And this personal security is basically how the service provider are using the data, or how they are providing the how they are managing the data, or we can say how a user can access their data on the cloud in a very secure manner, in a very flexible manner, in a very smart manner, so that whatever the form I have submitted there, or whatever the data I have keep there, so whenever I will use, either by after 1 month, or either by after 1 hour only, it will be in the same form. It will be in the same form. So all these things, let's see, suppose if you are taking the example of the bank. Okay, right now we all are using the Google Pay, and our Google Pay is directly connected, or anyone's Google Pay is connected with their bank account. Suppose we are in the village where no branch of our bank is there, but Google Pay is working. How? How? With the help of the cloud. With the help of the cloud. And in that type of security, what type of security we are using? The PaaS. That is the platform as a service. What type of security in that type of applications we are using? PaaS. That is the platform as a service. So that's why we are using the operational security and personal security in the platform as a security system. Okay, now see, because the application layer, or this SaaS, that is the software as a service, is working like the application layer, which is directly connected with the user, So what type of security that they will use? So basically, the SaaS cloud computing security is using the service functions, the logical locations, the protocols, input output, control mechanism, users and operators. Okay, and all these things can be basically depends on the supply chain security. Supply chain security means, why supply chain security? Because users can supply the data, and the same data can be transferred to the lower layer. Got the point? So obviously we have to be, as a user, must we understand that our information is shared with and accessible to those partners, or how it flows through the systems, or how it flows to the through the supply chain. Okay, so this must be review the service providers, that how the service change, or we can say how we can understand the service provider manages the third party security risk, which can be worked on the way where we are providing the data on the cloud. Got the point? Then next is that in the SaaS, we are using the user management, secure user management. Why secure user management? Because again, the SaaS is directly communicating with the user. So again, we have to be manage the users in the way of the security. So see, again, suppose you are a provider, service provider, or suppose you are on the cloud, so your provider should make the tools available for you to securely manage your use of their services. So this management interfaces and procedures are a vital part of the security barrier, and this preventing unauthorized access and alteration of your resources and applications of the data. Right now, maybe this will create a problem. Maybe it will create a problem. So how to remove this, or how to achieve it? So basically, we are using some parts or some methods for achieving this type of problems in our regular life. And these problems are, must be probably authenticated. Means what authentication you are having with your accounts? That is the authentication. The one-time password, the email address. Okay, these are the authentications. So these authentications we are using, or these were performed during a service management web portal, or by some emails or the systems. Okay, authentication means OTP is the best case for the authentication, because we all have one OTP whenever we are transferring some money from our account to another's account. Okay, suppose your Gmail, suppose your Gmail is used instead of you by your friend on other machine, on other tool, or sorry, on other laptop. So one message can be occurred on your mobile phone parallelly on the system, on the Gmail also. What is this? This is the authentication. This is the authentication, and this authentication we have to be clear under the user's interaction. Okay, so that no other user will use your data in a improper way instead of the proper way. Okay, and the SaaS cloud computing also includes the identity and the this identity also. Your username and your password is your identity. Your mobile number is your identity. Your email ID is your identity. Right now, because you are the student of the college, in the college, so your ID card is your identity. So all these things are used for the identity to keep you a separate or a unique among the group of the peoples. So that's the same thing we are using in the when the service provider provides the services to the users. Instead of all these things, some backend service providers are there who can all time keep an eye on your systems also, on the systems also. Okay, it is fact, it is a very big fact that at the same time thousands or lakhs of people are using the Gmails or the Facebook or the WhatsApp. So how it is easy to manage all the things, but because all the data are on the cloud, so whenever the wrong time means some signals are there, they are putting some signals. So whenever the wrong data or some wrong activity can be occur on any reason or any device, so it can be blinking on the cloud, and the cloud provider or the cloud manager basically can see and observe that, and get to know, okay, from where or in which area the things are going in a wrong direction. That is under the SaaS cloud computing systems. Okay, so thank you for listening, and any query? Sir,
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Uh, yes, ma'am. Thanks for your valuable time and very informative for our students. Our head of department, Jitwa sir, joined us, and sir, Jitwa sir,
Yeah.
sir,
Hello,
please.
Sonal madam.
Yeah,
Good
good afternoon, sir.
Good
Namaskar.
afternoon. Yeah. So, like on behalf of computer department, I'm very much thankful to you for giving us time and sharing your knowledge with our students.
Yes, sir.
And
Thank you.
I'm sure that like all my students and staff learn a lot in the area of cloud computing. Thank you very much,
Thank
ma'am.
you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me this chance also. Thanks to you also. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, any queries, sir, from student side?
Ma'am, I'm connecting with the viewers for the question answering session. So if there is any kind of question from the viewer side, so I'll just pass on the question to you.
Hello. हाँ,
Yeah.
college में.
So, shall I leave the meeting?
Okay, ma'am, I think there is no question from the viewer side right now.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll conclude our today's webinar. So thank you so much, ma'am, for have your time over here and share
Thank
a
you so much.
really a valuable knowledge regarding the cloud computing security. And behalf from the Par University, I'm also thanking you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Share a knowledge, ma'am. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.